right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Goon the Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time we're doing a preview, a Europa League preview. Yes, believe it or not, we have another freaking game, and that is Arsenal versus Vitoria tomorrow night. We play in the Europa League. The Europa League is seemingly the competition that our manager is built for. It is what it is. We are where we are. I don't see the board making any, shall we say, quick reactions to the news. But I also do find it interesting that they've not necessarily come out and offered Emre's support, at least yet. So we'll see what happens. From my own point of view, notwithstanding the video that I did yesterday, and thank you so much to the support I've had about that video. I think people seem to kind of appreciate the points that I was making, even if not every single person agreed. And I think that's the whole beauty of being a football fan and having opinions and having a debate. You know, everyone has a slightly different take on it. But I think in itself, I think everyone kind of understood why some people had that reaction. For me, I like to think I'm a reasonable person, and that's why you won't necessarily see me ever, even in the Wenger days, holding banners or none of that nonsense. But, you know, to me, I think it's important to kind of express honesty, and this team doesn't fill me with a tremendous amount of confidence. The one thing I will say, I love our youngsters. I think our youngsters are doing really well. And I think they're making some of our better players look better, quite frankly. When you think about the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Joe Willock, even though I don't think at least two of the, in fact, all of those guys didn't particularly have a great game on Monday. But I think that their future and their ceiling is so high. I don't think many Arsenal fans are worried about them, unless they stay under this manager. But that's a different debate for another day. And I'm going to focus on the game ahead, and that is Vitoria. Now, obviously, for those of you who haven't heard of Vitoria SC, they are a Portuguese team, currently fourth in their league. And how are they doing most recently? Well, just before they play us, they've recently been knocked out in the third round of the Portuguese Cup. It was 1-1. They were away from home. Looks like they lost 4-3 on penalties. Prior to that, they lost to Intract. I've heard of them though. I'm pretty sure we played them last season. But yeah, they lost to them 1-0, and then they won a game barely against 10 men, and that was on the 29th of September, 1-0. One thing I will say about these guys, they're not amazingly great at scoring goals. You know, you have to go all the way back to 22nd of September when they last scored 3 goals. That was away from home, and that was against Tonadella. Prior to that, they lost 2-0. They did crush Aves 5-1. So that is one example. But then, again, you're going back to September for that. Prior to that, 1-1. They got smacked up by Porto 3-0. They tend to score 1 goal. And the last time you could go back to when they really scored a lot of goals was in the Europa League qualifiers. So this should be a team that, in theory, we should absolutely annihilate, and they shouldn't even sniff our goal. But it's important to bear in mind that Arsenal love donning the Santa suit, and we're not far off that time. We're approaching 2 months until Christmas. So this is where Arsenal like to try on the suit, get a fitting. They like to do their corrections, try on the suit, let this tailor know where they can hem it up and tighten it up a little bit. just so that it's just right in time for December. So this is normally a game I wouldn't worry about. And in general, I'm not worrying about it, but I will caution people, this is Arsenal. Having said that, the one thing I will say, at the moment, our Europa League team seems a lot better than our first team. And it's because of that, I wanted to try and use this game to swap the teams, so to speak. So a lot of the players I was going to initially play were your Socrates and your Kolasinaks and people like that. And people would have been like, huh? And I would have been like, if you understand this team, you'll know what I'm trying to do. Against a team which we should smack up anyway. And I'm trying to swap the teams so that come Sunday against Palace, I'm playing all these players that are nice and fresh. Several things wrong with that plan, though. Arsenal played on Monday, so even the crap players will be knackered. And number two, I think that plan would have been more beneficial if Holding had appearances, if Tierney had appearances, if Hector had appearances, and we'd slowly started to bed them in. But actually, as things stand, they're pretty cold off the bench, and they actually need football. So a lot of my team is going to reflect that. I've put a couple of surprises. I've tweaked the shape. So I might as well warn people that now. But that being said, let me show you my 1 to 11 for the game. Now, bear with me 1 second. Here we go. Nope, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Yeah, it's that one. All right. Now, this is my 1 to 11. I hope you can see it. Probably can't. Hold on. You see it? There you go. You can see that. I know you can see that. So this is my 1 to 11 for the game. Just to give you an idea of what I'm thinking behind this. So you probably see the shape. I've gone with a 4-4-2, but I've tweaked the 4-4-2 round. I know that we have attacking fullbacks. So the question immediately on a lot of people's radar will be, well, where's the width coming from? I actually think these guys will be able to provide it. I think they will be attacking most of the time. Particularly Tierney likes going up and down a lot. I think defensively he's very solid. He's very aware. And I think you'll be able to drop in when needed. This is the type of game these players need, to be honest, because Sheffield United wasn't good enough. And I think we could do a demolition job on these guys. Played right. And that's why I've gone with the two up top. I'm not going to mess about. We're at home against these lot. Let's go out and get them from the off. I've started Mustafi because, to be honest, this season he's been okay. This is coming from me, by the way, guys. This is coming from me. I decided to start Mustafi just because I feel like he'll give us some experience against next to Holding, who also has experience. And I think the two seem to have a decent understanding. So why not play them? That's kind of my theory on that. Torreira, I don't know whose cereal Torreira's pissed in. But it's clear that he is not at all fancied by the manager. You guys know I'm not the hugest Torreira fan. I think people do gas him up. I think people do feel like he's our version of Kante. But I will say this, he's the only genuine DM we have, and he's not really a DM. But what I would like to not see him is play in this position. Right? That is not Torreira's position. Right? Play Torreira where he's seemingly strongest, and that is in the DM spot. Let him play there. I don't know what his issue with Torreira is. Let him play there. Or sell him. One of the two, but do something. You know, it feels like he plays in there because he didn't get my man. He didn't get Nzonzi. So he's almost like he's taking it out on Torreira. And that's what it feels like. Just play the kid. Play him. I've gone with Danny Ceballos because, to be perfectly frank, the guy's not getting a lot of games. I see that Arsenal supposedly bid 26 million for Danny Ceballos. and Real Madrid are looking for closer to 35 million for him. So that in itself is quite interesting. I know that Ceballos supposedly last week or his agent had showdown talks for Real Madrid, because Real just basically said, well, we don't want him. So you've already paid 17 million for him. Give us another 30 odd million for him. He's yours. So I think Arsenal are trying to negotiate that because they actually want the guy to stay. I think he's a good player, needs to be let off the leash. Because I think at the moment we're seeing some stuttered performances. I still think the kid has something about him that I like. I want him to be let off the leash, though. And I think the only way you get to do that is by playing him more and more. And I think this game will get his confidence right up. In some ways, it's a shame Pepe is not playing in this game because I think he'd fancy a couple of goals against these lot. But Dani Ceballos, I expect him to cause some destruction. Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I am playing Ainsley Maitland-Niles closer to his actual position. I probably expect him to drift this way a lot of the time. He's played there so much so recently. But actually, I'm going to start him in this spot, helping Torreira out, helping Ceballos out, driving forward, and helping the front line. A lot of people, again, would have expected me to start Willock. I think Willock not being in this team gives you an idea of what I plan to do on Sunday. So keep that in mind, people. Plus, I was a bit alarmed by Willock's performance on Monday. So I'm going to assume he's tired and play Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I think the person that's a bit unlucky in this team is Smith Rowe. Couldn't fit Smith Rowe in this team. Arguably, he should be in this spot. And quite honestly, if you wanted to put Smith Rowe in the number 10 position, I put him in there. I ain't going to lie to you guys. I ain't putting Ozil in because I rate him. I'm putting Ozil in because we're paying him £350,000 a week. I don't want his punk ass to earn it and not sit playing Fortnite all day. So Mr. Fortnite has to get on the pitch. I'm sorry. Patch up your back, princess. Strap up. You're at home. You should be performing. And then everyone keeps talking about, oh, well, you know, if Ozil plays with Ceballos, you watch how he lights up. If he can't light up against these lot, please stop. Please stop. So Mesut Ozil has an opportunity to light up against these lot. Let's see if he takes it. And then up top, I'm going Lacazette and I'm going Martinelli. I don't want Martinelli necessarily playing on the left, but it does occur to me that for those people who are worried about width, you could easily do that. And there you go. You're back to your normal shape. For me, I just prefer it like this. I think you get the same desire. There's no need to be defensive against these lot. I think you go full-fledged attack, start trying knocking in some goals. Maybe if you can destroy them, it might give you some confidence. I think they will be overly cautious. I think they'll try and park the bus. I do get the impression, other than when looking through their results, they've only really been smashed twice. Even Porto beat them 3-0. So they don't often concede a lot. They just seem like a bit of a team. They don't score that many, and they don't get smashed by that many often. But I want these lot to do a demolition job on them, quite honestly, because we deserve it as Arsenal fans, quite honestly. So I want to see that sort of result. I'm going to predict 5-0. I think we will knock them and knock them hard. And I'm predicting a Martinelli hat-trick. How about that? Because he was so close to getting one before. And I rate the kid so highly, I think he will actually get one. So you guys let me know what you think of my team. I'm not going to go very, very long. I can see it's 10-9 now. So I'm going to finish at 9. But by all means, do let me know what you think of the team. Do you completely disagree with it? Do let me know what you think of the team. I'm going to leave that up while I read your comments. And then people always want to look at the team. So let's go all the way back to the top. Evening, Ryan. Evening, Evan. What's the point anymore? Oh, goodness. As it comes to that. Mr. Franklin, evening. Ben, what up? Could be a cricket score tomorrow. Buenos Aires, Buna, my Spanish brother. Chig, rumors are that Freddie has more control over the team in Europa than any other competition, hence our different style of play. Yep, I've heard that rumor too. In all cup competitions, not just Europa, supposedly he runs the team. Emery still picks the side, but he runs the team. Would it even surprise you at this point? This is the same manager that adopted 5 captains. You can see I've really soured on him. Does anyone know why Bellerin wasn't in the squad on Monday? I thought he was ready to start. So was Tierney, apparently. Tom. And Tierney didn't even get on. How much will start? So who knows? Who knows? Evan, I'd be happy with that. Okay. People actually liking the team. What's going on? Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. That's all in. I'm off because I hate slow mo chats. That's because you like spamming it up, Arsenio, but no problem. No problem. I see that as well. I thought they'd want that to be more, to be honest. Emery's average height in the midfield is 6'1", so Torreira's height is clearly the issue. Xhaka, Guendouzi, and Willock all over 6 foot. Yeah, maybe. But then maybe. But then again, he signed off on Torreira being signed last summer. He only signed him last summer. Entertainment analysis is an interesting thought. Yep. Just to put a little bit dead team. Oh, okay, I see Arsenio's in a bit of a dick mood. Okay. All right, Ryan. What's up? Don Juan. See, now this is the real heel of the chat right here. Big up to you, Don Juan. I think Arsenio's decided to steal your swag because he's decided he wants to be a bit of a dick towards me for some reason. Mike wasn't the standard Louise. Chelsea, evening, mate. Ma, they don't give too many goals. Don't give up, Chig. They don't give up too many goals. Also, Chig 5 because Arsenal, Ma. Because Arsenal. I'm just saying, looking back through their results, they don't tend to give away that many goals. The only 2 destructions they've had one was 6-1, I think, and the other was 4-1 or 5-0, one of the 2. Who knows? Arsenal are capable of making hard work out of this as well. It's because Arsenal, It's because Arsenal. That isn't just Chig logic. We ain't winning anything this season, so why bother being excited since Wenger left? Game should be over at halftime, 6-0 for me. Yeah. Would you bring Arteta as manager? Hell no. Love being at work and listen to. I am not Mark Henry. Contrary to popular belief, I am not Mark Henry. I actually like this mode, by the way, just leaving it up for you to look at the team, comment, and me not being on camera. Means I could scratch my balls and you'll never know. I don't even know why I said that. Arma, we should run 3-5-2 in the Champions League. Okay, interesting. We're holding Louise Chambers, Bellerin and Tierney as wing-backs, Guendouzi and Torreira in midfield, Pepe left, at right mid, Laka and Uber at top. Interesting. Okay. At least you never know though, Ryan. You'd never know. You'd never ever know. Yeah. You're being a dick. I still love you though. I ain't kicked you out. What do you think of Pepe resting Laka and playing Lapa Uber I don't mind that idea because I actually like the idea of someone giving a boot to Pepe. I still think he'll come good, but I do like the idea of someone just giving a swift, like, you don't get it twisted. We spent 72 million on you, but it doesn't mean we keep you in the team if you ain't playing. But I actually thought he played quite well on Monday. Just didn't score. If he had scored that easy chance, people would have said, "Oh, he played really well on Monday." Um, Emery builds teams the way people does on FIFA. Get fast wingers, physically strong midfielders, fast centre backs. Expect results. Calm his clueless honesty. Feel bad for the man. I like Chelsea because he has. You could tell he's an older cat, Chelsea, because he's listened to me for a while, and he has a very measured way of not commenting too much in the chat, sitting back, listening, having a very measured approach. And that comes from me who wants him out. But I can also appreciate when someone has a slightly different perspective. I don't personally feel sorry for him, but I can see what Chelsea's saying. Wonga turning heel. Who's Wonga? If we struggle versus Victoria Beckham team. Now that is a Rich Franklin comment right there. Classic. That is hilarious. Wonga, be positive, mate. Who is Wonga? I'm trying to work out who Wonga is. I'd also take Rogers right now. Yeah, of course you'd back the Irish guy. Let's be real. I know he's Northern Irish. Before you make that distinction. Well, of course you'd back him. What do you think of Evra's comments? King Gunner, for me, I can't stand Evra. But how can you look at Monday's game and disagree? I just can't stand Evra because my man has the biggest stiffy for Arsenal ever. It don't matter what happens. My man loves to comment on how rubbish we're doing or how bad we're doing. Or he always has some kind of crap to say. Having said that, it's difficult to look at the game and disagree. It's very difficult. Arteta and Nunes from Wolves, favourites for the manager job. Thoughts? Yeah? Since when? I do like the Wolves manager. I'm not sure I'd feel comfortable in him taking over necessarily. Arteta, oh, hell no. Hell no. I'd rather Freddie than Arteta. Because by all intents and purposes, apparently the players hated Arteta. So why would we get him in? And that was when he was playing. We should be better than Victoria's Secrets. The Victoria puns are coming quick, bruv. 6-0 in my opinion. All right. Mr. Hutch. Okay. Chig, an interesting thing. Emery's never worked wingers. His highest under him was Mbappe with only 13 goals. Pepe was always going to struggle bad. That is interesting. That's an interesting thought. You see, for me, I'm pretty shocked because he was so keen on Pepe for ages, especially when he was at PSG. I remember loads of stories about 3 years ago where he really desperately wanted Nicolas Pepe and never got him. And so I just assumed that, okay, he'll be doing something good. But, yeah, his game just doesn't suit wingers, seemingly. No one can outshine the Don. Mr. Cox. I have to say that name carefully. I hope you're good, brother. Of course. Do you know what? People have been saying Wonga in the chat room. I'm like, who's Wonga? And I always call him Arsenio. I forget his last name is Wonga. Gosh, I've been doing OT, boy. Where is VP when you need him? Ryan, Arsenal 5-1. Hope it's an entertaining game. I hope it's a bit of an entertaining game as well. I ain't gonna lie. Especially if me and Lee end up doing a watch along. In my opinion, we should play Pepe in the cups so we can adjust even more. Okay. Would you take Mourinho as manager? Hell no. I ain't gonna lie to you. I saw a story today linking in with Dortmund. I am praying he gets that job. I am praying he gets that job because I've got a feeling people are going to campaign hard for Jose to come to Arsenal. I really hope it don't happen. Honestly, I think it would be such a bad move. Here, lads, what's your view on the lack of cohesion and directiveness and being more assertive in our play? There you go. I think Arsenio is asking you guys that question. For me, with style of play, I've always said whatever gets the job done. The problem is, at the moment, it's not getting the job done. And that's the issue. But to me, I have no issue. I have no problem if it works. Like you've seen with my team, I don't really have a lot of width there. And that's deliberate because obviously Saka's not in the team. Nelson's not in the team. I'm not convinced Martinelli is a winger. I think he worked very hard, so I can see the temptation in dropping him, which is why you can switch to this shape if you do decide that you want to play him as more of a winger. But actually, I think from what I see of him, he looks like a really good candidate as a striker. And I think if you bolster that midfield with people who can tackle, which all three of these guys can, with people who can create, which he can, with people who can be direct and be combative, which in his actual position he can. The theory is that these two will be able to work well together in a kind of a Santi Ozil classic way. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, for me, I really don't care about Mesut like that. I just want him to stop playing Fortnite for 2 seconds and help us out here. And I just think he needs to get back to fitness. So I think this is a good game to give him an hour or so, bring him off, put Smith Rowe on, something like that. Bob's your uncle. That's the way that's the way I would do it. That's the way I would manage this game. But yeah. All right, let me just read a couple more questions. So I've really done some overtime here. Troops called them victory secret. Emre's killing Torreira's career. It's difficult to disagree with that. It's difficult to disagree. I'd love to see Everest's thoughts in United. Exactly. Notice he kept his mouth shut for that, though. Gosh damn. Williams is on point here. That's another long-time listener of mine. If Arsenal are babies, what does it make Man United right now? Exactly. Yeah, bro. But he's been consistent. I will give him that. You're right, DJ Crane. You're right in that respect. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Like I say, Chelsea, I always got time for the things that you say. Emre would be better at a club like Sheffield. Yep. I think Wenger rejected him as a youngster or something because he's always hated Arsenal. Probably, yeah. He was a leader. I'll give him that. I hated the guy, but I'll give him that. I feel bad just introducing Tierney, Holding, Bellerin alone will bring some fight and grit back to the team. Agreed. Our tactics isn't working. Players don't know what the F are doing. Hence us playing sideways, backwards, isn't it? Can't say I disagree. But you kind of, yeah. I agree with you, Mr. Tafari. I agree with you. Okay. If Emery gets the boot, I want Freddie in. Sleep like slack in the house. I see you. The board need to make a decision by January. Another year in Europe will be a financial disaster, and we'll have issues returning our top players like Uber and Laka, who haven't yet signed a contract. People forget that. So I think that's a very worthy point in Ghana. But there's a way to get width at the team, be defensive. If you watch Zidane's 4-4-2, I will say this: maybe Zidane's team is not the best example because, admittedly, recently they've started to play well. That took them a while to get used to. Emery doesn't know what he talks about. The only thing he knows what to do is headline to get. All right. All right, guys. I'll have this one more. If we're winning games, regardless of having poor games, it would be worth something. But we can't even beat a newly promoted Sheffield side because of this garbage manager. Gosh damn. I think people are tapped out on Emery. So have I, to be perfectly honest. But you guys continue that interaction. Your interaction and your comments on the video last night was fantastic. Thank you so much for that. It really was. I love it when things like that happen because it kind of makes it worthwhile. It kind of makes you think, oh, okay, these guys are really enjoying. They're really enjoying what we're doing. So, yeah, I really like that. I really enjoyed it. I tried to reply to as many as I can. I will continue to do so. Please do hit that subscribe button. Take me well past 6,300, which I'm on 6,300 right now. Take me well past that number. I'd appreciate it. I'm hoping that I'll be doing a watch along. I'll be doing it. It just depends on whether I'll be doing it on my channel or if Lee comes through and we end up doing it on his. He's obviously flying out to Mallorca tomorrow morning, early hours, with the little one. So you won't know until very late in the day tomorrow. But either way, either we do a watch along on his channel, so do subscribe to Lee Gunner. I know he's edging ever so closer to 30,000, or hit the subscribe button to me, and I will make sure I do it. So either way, I'm sure we'll cover it. And big up because I have just seen J Rob's donation. Thank you, my man. It has been a long time. Where have you been, my brother? Where have you been? Thank you, bro. Thank you, guy. I appreciate it, man. Always watch, just don't get to watch live all the time. To be honest with you, and that's my fault, J Rob. I need to be more consistent with when I do these shows. I do tend to like doing my late night shows around 10, so it's comfortably after Lee's. I'm not clashing with him. Obviously, I like to let my boy get shine. I don't want to do. I mean, not that my 6,000 is going to have much dent in him, but you never know. I don't like to kind of cross streams with people. I know people like setting up streams, competing against each other, and I know 9 o'clock is a really cluttered time period for people to do podcasts. But actually, I think I have a lot of around the world listeners, and I know a lot of American listeners. Seems to have lots of American listeners, and they tend to like switching on around 10 UK time. So I know it's a bit late for the UK guys. Still got love for the UK guys, but yeah, I think the more people I can reach out to, the better. So yeah, that's why I do it that way. But anyway, it's enough of my rabbiting. I hope you guys have enjoyed the preview. Thank you so much for listening to my Muggins ass go on, and I will be back tomorrow in some kind of capacity. I will let you know as soon as possible. Let's see if Arsenal can smash him. We should. We should. ... Question mark. Let's find out. All right. I'm out of here. Take care, people. Peace.